It's finally Wednesday. No, I can't believe it's Wednesday already, actually. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the live stream. I'm AC. This is Dank RC's Wednesday live stream. You can't even see it in there. We've got the same plane. No, actually, we're not going to work on this plane at first. We may get to it because I don't know how much other stuff we have on this other project over here. But I just wanted to say that if you've seen previous live streams and not the last one, which I can't see who's watching, how many people right now. I got it put on the right screen over there. But this is done except for the door, which we may do, and the camera needs to be glued on, and we'll do some final testing. But we're going to set this aside, and we are going to work on something a little bit more old school. I actually built a plane in the last week. Oh my God, we got to start with our traditional cleaning of the glasses. Shall we do that? Let's start with the traditional cleaning of the glasses while I expound upon, I don't know who's here. Kevin! It's Kevin. Hey, Kevin. Kevin's going to like this. Kevin's going to like this, because I'm going old school. And this thing that we're going to work on in just a second here, that Kevin's going to like very much, we got to finish building these custom 3D printed parts for this thing that Kevin's going to like very much. So let me clean off all the surfaces and make sure I do have audio. Let's see, and that's the other camera. Well, we don't know if we'll need that camera. But what we're going to work on today, at first, is this. And it is the simple stick. Except, of course, I altered it because I never do anything flight test exactly the way flight test does it. But what we have to finish doing is I've made some... Well, anyway, let me just say that it's not going to have iNav in it or anything. It's going to be bare bones. I've got a 6-channel receiver. Let me see. Let's go over the specs of this thing. There's really no specs because I haven't figured it out yet. I have the motor, which is the Sunny Sky X2216 1100 kV, which means it can have a pretty big prop, and I don't think I have the prop here. So I was thinking of a 9x6. I think I have a 9x6. So I was thinking of a 9x6. Sweet, Kevin says. So basically, Kevin and whoever else might watch this in the future, this is a simple stick that has an expanded front section. This part is longer, so I had to custom cut this particular piece, make my own plan or alter the flight test plan for this, the hatch piece, because this distance is, I think, oh God, I can't even remember now. I think it's like 50 to 70 to 80, somewhere 50 to 80 millimeters longer in the nose. So, that's the only custom bit I did. Is basically I just extended the line further forward, this line on the plans. And so this section in the front is a smaller cross section by a few millimeters. And then I wanted to make this landing gear work, so I designed these printed parts. And I used for the very first time these, and this is what we're going to do today, is these threaded inserts These are M3 threaded inserts that hold on the landing gear. So these 4 bolts, so the landing gear width, these go through the landing gear, and the holes that went through the landing gear were too wide to go inside the fuselage because they're basically, as you can see, basically the same width. So these 4 bolts on the outer section here are what go on through to that plate there. And then these 2 bolts go through just to this plate. So this plate here has 2 threaded inserts, and I have 2 different sizes of M3 threaded inserts from CNC Kitchen, and that's part of what we're kind of reviewing today is the usage of those, and so far it's been pretty good. So I used them in 2 different places here. I used them here again on the landing gear mount, and I also used them on this front motor mount piece, which goes on the inside. The way it works, I don't know if I can show it, but yeah, you can see it there, is just cut a hole, and then it has, this face is bigger than the part that sticks through the foam. So basically I cut a hole that's, I think, 50 millimeters square, and then this is like a face plate that's a part, you know, the same piece. It's all one piece. But so the threaded inserts are in the back there. Anyway, I think it'll work. I think it'll work. And I build up some foam. I have the same problem that Kevin has, is I have a motor that has a shaft that sticks into the fuselage area. So I have to say that the main reason that I extended the fuselage in the front here is because of Kevin's experience and his very nice looking, way better looking, by the way. You know, look at, I just drew some magic marker lines on here. His simple stick is what why I decided his experience. He has weights. I don't know if he has them on the outside or the inside, and then he has a situation where, you know, the battery's really close up in front, I think. He can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, since he's watching. He's probably working. He's probably working on stuff, so he can't chat. But anyway. All right, so that's the deal. So what I thought we would do today to start off the stream is in addition to those custom parts for this, I've also designed and printed these what I'm calling wing saddles, because that's like the saddle of the wing. And the way these holes here, well, they're mirrored image of each other. So one goes on the left on the inside and one goes on the right. So these guys will go in the fuselage like, I have the wrong one here. Let's just show you. So like inside of here, and they fit perfectly. The thing about the 3D printed parts I did for this plane, every one of them fit perfectly for the first print, which is amazing. So that's how they kind of go. I don't have it perfectly lined up there. It's going to go right up against the top. It's designed to fit right up inside there so that it goes right along the foam like that. And then these holes will have the threaded inserts for M3, and then the screws, I've got some long M3 screws that will come out. And then so basically these wing saddles are, 1, to reinforce this part, and 2, to provide me something besides barbecue skewers to stick through holes, because I know what happens. I've built enough planes and crashed enough. So we are going to be using rubber bands, which is the traditional flight test method, and not only just flight test, but many other people do that too, of course. So today what I thought we would start off with is we need to put the threaded inserts into these pieces first. And I show you the threaded inserts that we have. What do we got? new ugly stick is long. That is correct. 2 ounces in front. Yeah, so he had to put 2 ounces of weight in the front of his plane. So in this drawer, this is my new CNC kitchen drawer. And so I'll just show you quickly how this works. Basically, I bought a bunch of stuff from CNC Kitchen, and that's a YouTube channel that if you're into 3D printing or, well, CNC kind of stuff. So this is what they look like. This is the short ones. These are M3. I have a bunch of different sizes. These are M3 long ones. So the long ones, they give you all the information right on the front. M3, how deep, what size to make the holes in your 3D print. I followed that almost exactly. The depth is 5.8 because I have like this kind of hole on the right side there, on the bottom right. And then I did the width 4 millimeters instead of 3.9. Anyway, and then I bought a set of these soldering iron tips. So these go right into my Hacko, and then they have a tip that sticks into and helps you guide the, heats up the insert and helps you guide it into the hole. So that's what I did for all these parts on this so far. What else did I do to vary from the flight test thing? I was trying to think of, yeah. So the other thing I did to vary, it was the servos. So, and I think we recommended when Kevin built his that he didn't bother with all the bullshit with trying to place the servos on the inside and glue the thing. Oh, I hate that. So this is what I put the servos in the back. And of course that does increase the issue with the CG, and you do have to have more weight in the front. If you're putting more weight in the back, you have to have more weight in the front. And the way my landing gear is, this particular landing gear, well, let me just say that I think I originally wanted to have it going backwards. It's like goes out at an angle a little bit. So it's slightly canted forward, if that makes any sense. See? And I think that my original idea was that I would mount it so that it was backwards. But then I placed this just forward of the CG, kind of where the landing gear insert is in the original simple stick design from Flight Test, not taking into account that this would have been swept backwards. And the amount it was swept backwards, I was worried that the CG would be such that it wouldn't be tricycle, or wouldn't be, it would go this way instead of this way when it was fully loaded with a battery. So I put the landing gear in swept forward. And I don't think it matters, does it? And I looked on AliExpress because I thought, wow, if I break this landing gear, I don't have any more of this size or close to this size. Not that I care about, I'll redo the 3D printed parts for a slightly different size, that's fine. But what I thought can I get more of these in the future? And I looked on AliExpress, and they do have some that are similar to this, but they're not swept at all in either direction. So in the future, I don't think it's going to matter if I buy new landing gear for future planes. I think that's the only alteration besides not doing the cutouts when I cut the reinforcement pieces on the inside. There's cutouts for pontoons and a cutout for the landing gear. I didn't cut any of that out. But I did cut out, not thinking, I didn't need to, whoops, banging the thing on the ceiling. I did cut out for the reinforcement piece has like a cutout there. Can you see that? This rectangle. And that's for the power pod. And that's the other thing that I don't do according to Flight Test and never have. I never did the power pod. No power pods for me. I don't understand the power pod concept. I really don't. So, there you go. Okay. So, enough babbling. Ugly stick 59 long, 66.5 wing. Is that inches? It must be inches, yeah. 66. Oh, yeah, that's way bigger. So what today we would start off with is doing these, doing the inserts for these. So what I need to do is fire up the soldering iron, and the temperature I have it set at right now is 220 Celsius, which is slightly above what I would be printing at, but I think I want it a little higher. I've decided I want it a little hotter, so I'm going to try to set it. This is the one thing I don't like about the Hacko. Oops. 2. I wish it just had a dial or something. We'll put it to 240. 240 Celsius. Okay, and then we're going to use the long version of the inserts. And what I'll try to do is get the camera ready. So it's going to focus, and we'll switch to that. So we're going to use this long version here. Oh, I can turn it this way. I've got it the right way. Got the camera set up correctly, so it's from my point of view. Your point of view is my point of view on this camera. So we only need 4, and we don't want to lose them. So I should have gotten them here. I'm going to put them in my little hot glue container there. That's what I squirt hot glue in every once in a while as a failed print. And the way you do this is you just kind of stick it in there. I've already got the tip on. So that's the M3 tip that came with that I bought with the CNC kitchen stuff. Now we can close this. So even I'm not going to be able to zoom in very good. I'm sorry. This is maybe we'll try to zoom in a little better. We do that by moving the camera closer. Does it focus? Come on, focus. You can do it. Logitech. One of these days, I'll get a good camera for this. Okay, so even at 4.0, see, the idea is that this little bit at the very bottom will kind of stick in the hole that you've 3D printed to help guide you in there straight. And that's one of the failings of my prints, is that, yeah, they don't quite do that. So I even need to go a little bit bigger than 4.0 millimeters on my prints, probably in the future. But this is what we're going to do. So here we go. We're going to just get it in there. We're going to get it lined up, and I'm sorry if the camera's going to be obscured by the soldering iron, and I'm going to try to apply even pressure so it goes straight up and down. And one time in my adventures it even twisted as I pushed it in, but this time, see, that's a little crooked. You want it to get straight. So it does melt the plastic enough. Maybe I shouldn't have turned it up. Maybe I should turn it down to actual printing temperature. Let's do that. We're going to turn the soldering iron down. I printed at about 202. So let's do that. We'll go to 200, and I think it's 202 or 203. Okay, so we're at 204. I went one bit, but it looks really nice. Look at that. That looks professional grade, almost. Not quite, actually. It's in a little crooked. That's what I was talking about. It feels like it's a little bit pushed this way and not that way. Pushed towards the top. This is the top. Okay, so, and on the inside, what I have to do also, I will show you. This is sort of like a half review of these kind of inserts, which I've never really dealt with before today, or before this playing. Not today, but this week. This week. I built all this in the last the actual fuselage I cut out a long time ago, right after Kevin had his built. And I realized, I learned from his commentary on what he was dealing with. So, take this Phillips head doesn't even work. I usually have an Allen key one, but this is an M3 Phillips blade. Somehow I picked out of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw it through this way, and it's going to push out the plastic bits that it pushed down inside the hole. That's kind of a prerequisite before you actually get it. There we go. And so now my idea is, I might use just screws like this. So my idea is to have, and if I have threads exposed, now I'm going to find the screws that don't have threads, the long ones. I had some out. Where are they? Are they over here? No. Are they in this box? Yeah, they're in this box. Yes. No. 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 No, they're not. I'll have to look for them. I have some screws that have a shaft at the top that isn't threaded. Some M3 like 35 or 40 millimeter. I'll have to go on a mission. I thought I had them right here. So the idea is that this is on the inside of the plane, right? This is glued. This is the surface that gets glued to the inside of the plane. So from the outside of the plane, the screw goes through the foam. Oh, I don't have one on that. The screw goes through the foam. Hold on, I'm going to have to get it cleaned out better than that. Crap. What we're going to need is the little tiny straight bladed screwdriver, I think. See, sometimes there's some plastic crap in there. You got to get it out, because the screw won't cut it from that way. There we go. We got it. So from the outside of the plane, the screw's going to come and screw into this, hopefully. Like that. And then it only needs to go like that far in. So there's be a layer, there's what, 2 layers of foam board, right? On the outside of the plane. So you have something like that sticking out of the foam board, and that's what the rubber bands are going to hook onto. So that's basically the reason for this design. And then it provides a saddle reinforcement for the wing mount at the fuselage top, where there's just bare foam board that I'm going to coat it with glue after I glue all this on. So that's why. If that makes any sense to people watching in the future, simple stick people. I'll have these on Thingiverse sometime this week. I haven't put up a simple stick page yet, but so far I've gotten 1, 2, 3. Well, the landing gear consists of 3 parts. The motor mount is 1 part, and then this part, which I only have 1 STL, and then in Cura you just mirror it so it prints like this. Prints like mirror image. You multiply. You put one on the build plate in Cura, and then you multiply it by 1, and then you mirror the second one that you just multiplied, and then you have this. So when I put it on Thingiverse, there'll only be 1 of these. You have to mirror it to get that. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so we have 3 more of these to go. Let's put it in there. See, it doesn't quite go in. Oh, that one does. See, that's kind of how it's supposed to stick in. Like that. And then even, I bet you if you wanted to try to push it in even further, down to that first rib. Well, I didn't quite get it. Doesn't matter. We don't need to do that. Okay, so now we're trying it at, oh, I didn't do 202. It's not at 202. Darn this hacko. Hold on. 2. No, shit. Got to go up to 0 to the next one. 202. Enter. That's going down now. It's going down to 202. Once it gets to about 210, I'll stick it on there because it'll lose heat really quick once I stick it on there. It's at 210. Okay, here we go. Now, it's got knurls that are in a spiral, and one time I even saw it twist as I went in. There it goes. Like that. Oh, this is the right temperature. So CNC Kitchen is not kidding when they say keep your soldering iron at the printing temperature. And I have set it at exactly the printing temperature, and I think it works a lot better. Now, I still have the issue of course, there's a bunch of plastic that kind of oozed out at the bottom there, inside the hole. So remember that this hole has got 2 different widths in 2 different diameters. As it goes down, it's 5.8 millimeters of a 4 millimeter hole. And then inside there, in the bottom part, is the remainder of the depth of this is a 3.4 millimeter hole. I hope that makes sense. And that corresponds with kind of, not exactly, but the through hole. I'm doing a blind hole that is also a through hole. Does that make sense? Yeah. So now I'm going to take the screw and screw it through this side to push out most of the plastic. And then hopefully with the screwdriver I can get out any remaining plastic. So far I have to say that these CNC Kitchen ones, and I know these aren't the only kind. Andy and I were talking about this, and he says that he's got some from AliExpress or Banggood, I think. And they work just fine. I think they're bigger. I think you have to make bigger holes. There's more material. So, you don't have to get CNC Kitchen ones, but these, I wanted to get good ones. Okay, so now the hole kind of looks like it's going all the way through. Pretty good. So now let's test it this way. This is the way it's going to work. The other thing I'm going to do, yeah, see, it's not exactly going in easy. Let's see if there's any plastic in there. No. So let's just see if we can get it started. Oh, there we go. I think I was putting it in at an angle. Make sure it works. Yep, it's going to be great. So, what we're going to do is I am going to, when I glue this in, we're going to have screws in here that go flush to this. And the reason I'm doing that is I don't want the inside of that to get filled with glue, hot glue. So I'm going to take a screw and put that one in. And then I'm going to take this screw and put it in here. And I'm just going to go flush with the outside. Like that. So now we're ready to glue this in the plane. But before we glue it in, let's make these other 2. Since that's what we're doing, let's go on a roll, and then I'll turn off the soldering iron for now, because I don't think we'll need it anymore. So let's see. I almost can get it in there, but not. Oh, there it went. So it works a lot better if you can get it to stick in the hole a little tiny bit. And maybe if I can't, I should just camp for the edge with a razor blade. Okay, so here we go. We're at 204 degrees Celsius, and this is this material that I'm here is, of course, the only material I usually print with, which is Matter Hackers PLA build class, which is their economy class, I guess you'd call it. So it starts to heat up, starting to go in very slowly, and there it starts to sink. I'm not pushing it super hard, but I am pushing it. And then at this point, I want it to twist as the knurls get into the plastic, but it's not quite doing that on this one. But there you go, it's flush with the top. So we'll get the next one in. And we will, see, this one doesn't quite want to sit in that hole straight. So we're just going to have to wing it. We'll get it stuck in there. I swear there was a video on YouTube on CNC Kitchen's channel that had a video about this product on their website, but I swear I can't find it because I got these a while ago. Okay, now I should push a little harder, I think. There it goes, it twisted a little bit. Okay, see, that one's a little bit wonky, right? Once it goes in wonky, it stays wonky. See, they're not always like 100% perfect. If you look around, the gap is bigger here. And then the knurls are kind of sunken into the plastic on this one. And they're specifying a 3.9 millimeter hole. And I am only using a 4 millimeter hole. So that might account for some of that. Okay, so now we're going to screw it through this side to push out the plastic. But I tell you, this CNC Kitchen inserts, or probably any inserts, but I suppose these ones here, even though they're not my low printing quality ability, as you know, it makes it less than 100% perfect. Like I said, the gap isn't. It looks pretty cool, and it's going to totally game change my designs, because now I know I have a bunch of different sizes too. I have M4, M5, and M2. So I'm thinking that I got to get these bits out. I'm thinking that, so you can even see on this side, well, you can see one thing, that when I print on glass, sometimes the holes don't print very good at the very first layer, and that is the case here. So that makes this weaker. But the other thing I was going to say is that the gap on the hole is opposite. So the gap is here, and if you flip it over, oh no, yeah, see, the gap is opposite. That tells you that it's a little crooked going through there. But where this is a foam board airplane, and it's to hold rubber bands. So let's be real about the necessary worry of having it 0.5 millimeter off. Okay, we'll also screw through this side on this one. Let's inspect this one. There's still a little bit here. Let me get a knife. There's a bit on the outside. Let's get that first. No, I don't think that counts. That's a glob that was part of the missing layer. So you can see when it misses a layer, it definitely shows. Whereas this one, it still doesn't do a great job on these small diameters on the glass on the first layer. And of course, the very first layer when you're 3D printing is the most important layer. The first layer is always the most important layer of your print. So we'll just finish pushing this through. We're almost ready to glue this on. And then we got to finish putting together the wing. I'll show you the wing. Plane does have a wing. So this is a bare bones plane, no iNav, no lights, no nothing. But of course I had to modify it, like I said, from the original design. Okay, so now that we've got that in there, let's leave that like that, so that when we glue it in... Oh, I need to test it. I need to test it with a screw from the outside. See, it's not going through this hole very nicely. That is a problem. This is a problem due to my first layer sloppiness on glass. So we have to make sure that we can actually catch the threads from this direction. Because that is something I noticed with the motor mount. Oh, yes, it's definitely caught the threads. It's coming through. Okay. All right. So, if I can't find my screws with this solid shaft, non-threaded shaft at the outside part, because I don't want the rubber bands resting on screw threads, because then they'll break all the time probably. So we'll just put this in this way. I don't think I have another one of those Phillips head screws, which is good. I don't like these Phillips head screws. I don't even know where they came from. But they're in my screw bucket that's sitting here on my desk. That's just random screws. The random screw bucket. Okay. So we have our pieces prepped to glue into the plane. So we'll glue them into the plane. Let's put all our CNC kitchen stuff away. Turn off the iron. So far I've used 6, 10, 14. I used 14 inserts on this plane, which means there'll be 14 screws. All right, we're back here. So we're going to glue this in. I'm going to practice one more time. I do have an issue here because I have this shit ton of extra glue right there. Excuse my French. And I have some up here too. So ideally, let me just point this out, that I didn't decide to print these wing saddles until after I had assembled the entire fuselage here. What you should do, if you had all the hindsight that I now have, is if you when you go to my Thingiverse or Thangs or Printables, which I'll have them on all of those, and I'll put a link somewhere, sometime, somehow. My channel has links to my Thingiverse, but I will put these in a section for this plane or project, or however it works. You should put these on, these doublers, first before you build the fuselage, right? So that's what I should do. That is tape. That's taped to the fuselage. Don't pull that off. But we didn't have that hindsight here. Here at Dank RC, we had the no hindsight version. So we'll roll with what we got. Because it would be a lot easier if I had this plane, like, let's see if we can actually do it. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see me do it. Let's try it this way. Let's see if we can, you know what? You know what? If we had, I'm not taking the landing gear back off. I don't have a screw gun. I don't have a automatic screw gun right now, so I'm not taking it off. But if I had a bigger box to put this on, like this one, it might work better. Okay, let's see. We can do it like this. Just like that. Okay, this is how we're going to glue this sucker. Yes, yes, yes. So we're going to just take this, and we're going to have to tape those things out of the way. Tape you guys out of the way. Nope. Here's my hot glue gun that I just put my ankle against. Ouch. Okay. We're going to go start with this side, so we're going to go down there. You guys get out of my way. Stay out of my way. There we go. That will stay open miraculously. These holes are set to be not filled up with glue because they have screws in them. And we can easily see if we're lined up. And this one is not going to let me line it up because there's so much glue glopped in there. We're going to do it the best we can. Should I cut out some of that glue? Damn it, I wish I would have done this first. Well, it's just going to be a few millimeters off in the back. Doesn't really matter. This is the first version of this plane, so it doesn't matter. So here, can you see what I'm doing? Yeah, sort of. Okay. Oh, and also notice the glue stick. It's white. It's the stuff that Andy got from the place that I sent him to, and then I was told him I was going to be buying this one particular hot glue gun, which I never ended up buying because I bought this other one down here, the flight test gun, which I'm still not using because this one's still awesome. But to make a long story short, he bought like a huge box of these freaking white sticks, and he gave us some. And so I'm using, this is the very first one. I have another one ready to go. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to put some glue around there, and down there, and down there, and around there. Put that down and stick it in here. And stick it on. And squish it down. And, oh, there's some leaking out right there that I don't want. Okay. Push it forward a little bit. That cooled off fast. This, I don't remember it, the other stuff cooling off this fast, but okay, so that's what we're doing. I hope I have room to get these screws out. Oh, I wasn't thinking about that. How am I going to get them out? Haha, I'm going to have to take the hole through there already. Ha. All right. That sucks. Because look at that. How am I going to get that out if I'm not directly across from it? I wasn't thinking about that. We're just going to poke a hole through there. hope I'm close. Come on. There we go. Pretty close. I should have used the poker to poke the hole because I stressed the foam right there. I hope I have enough room to get it all the way out. Yeah, I got it. Let's see how far away I am from reality. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, now the back one's going to be a little bit more difficult. I don't know, I'm going to put shorter screws in this time for the next one. I'm going to take those screws out because I'm not going to be able to get a screwdriver through there. I wasn't thinking about that, like how am I going to poke the holes in the right spot? You know what I should have done? Oh, okay. Oh, I know what we can do. Here's what we're going to do to get the hole in the right place on the outside. We're going to use one of these guys. One of these guys. We're just going to go like this through there. Does it go through? Yep. Come on. You know what? We're going to take one. We're going to cut it. We have another scrap one that's thinner, don't we? This one. It's got a Z, it's got a hook on it. This one. Come on. There we go. Now we know where to poke the hole. Okay, now we'll take this. It's more complicated than I thought. Okay, now, whoops. I shouldn't worry so much about this plane. It's going to get crashed the first time I fly it, probably. It's line of sight only. Okay. Now next, instead of doing it with the screwdriver, we're going to try to see, where is it here? We can use this. Let's get these screws out of here. We're going to put in shorter screws that aren't in such danger. Well, this is a shorter screw. But yeah, can I turn it? No. What am I going to do about this screw situation? Does this go through the hole? Where is the M2 point? Where is this? Let's see if that goes through those threaded inserts. No, it does not. It's not going to go through the threaded insert. Of course not. Alright, I don't know what to do. But what I want to do first is get this. Oh crap, I can't get it lined up the right way. Well, I can sort of. Here, let's try this. Let's try this. Yeah, and that's right on top of the hole. That's exactly, ideally, where I want it to be. Okay, I've made a mark. This tape is tough. This tape, look at, I added stress cracks to the whole thing by pushing on it, because the tape will not give up. Okay, now I can get the screwdriver through. And it's not lined up properly because of this being a few millimeters low. And this one was probably a few millimeters high. It won't matter when the plane's flying or crashing. Okay, so what am I going to do? I am going to put short little screws in here, I think. And then I can get them out with an Allen wrench sideways. I think. Let's try that. Got these, oh, that doesn't fill up the hole. Those are too short. I thought they would be just the right length. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing here, but typical workshop Wednesday type situation is what we got going on, people. And that one doesn't want to go all the way in. Why not? Which means it'll be tough to get out. Let's push it all the way through and make sure that we've got, ow, this wing saddle plan is probably going to turn out to be so ridiculous. Watch, the screws won't hold the rubber bands or something. Who knows? Who knows? It seems like a good idea. Seems like a good idea. Okay. Oh, don't take it all the way out. Push it in enough to cover the hole. Okay, right there. That's good. Now let's find another one about that length. Oh, this one will be perfect because it's got a smaller. Yeah. Why don't I find another one of these for this side? Sorry, diversion. We're going to this box right here. This box has the pan head this length right here. This is what we want. That way I can stick the other Allen key through the hole, because the other Allen key is only a 2 millimeter. Excellent. Put this through. Okay. Now, 2 millimeter. That'll probably go, oh, look, it's chamfered, so it won't go all the way through. But the 2 millimeter Allen key will, that I have in the other place. Okay, so that's what we'll do. Got those 2 screws. Takes a 2 millimeter. Now, before that, we have to poke the hole on the other side. This side, through there. So we're going to go with this thing. And we're going to go through the hole. This hole's got to go down a little bit. Sorry, but just a little bit. There we go. As soon as I can see it. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now, this, and then let's see how far we can get this 2 millimeter through there. Not at all. Oh, it goes through, but not enough to reach the screw. Maybe. It might work. It's good. I've got to get this hole through anyway, so. Where is it? Down. Okay, so this isn't so 100% foolproof easy. because the hole is a little too high. Or, yeah. But see, this foam isn't really going to be holding the screw, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, that is good. Okay, let's glue this sucker on. I'm going to put this down this way. And we have the holes cleared for the most part. And we only have to get a screw through there once. It's not going to be coming out. It feels very solid, I'll tell you that. Very solid indeed. Okay, let's practice fit this and see how it's going to go. If it's going to be exactly the same as the other one. No, it's actually going to, well, yeah. It's going to be a 1.5 millimeters too low on the bottom. Okay, where did I throw the glue gun when I finished gluing? Okay, here we go. Put some around there, down here, around there. Whoop! Get it in here. Oh, don't move, plane. Okay, and then let's get it right pushed on. Really good. Okay, there we go. It's in exactly the spot I wanted. It's a little high. Push it down. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's good. I'm thinking that I'm going to have to use this glue in the flight test gun with the higher temperature. It seems to cool down too fast or something. It doesn't smush like the other glue does. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, now let's see if we can get these screws out. I'm going to stick this through here. Let's see if we can get the screws out. It's coming. Alright, let's not have it fall all the way down in there. There we go. Okay. Let's get this one out. We gotta stick it through there. Oh, it doesn't quite line up. Oh, okay. That's another thing. They're at an angle to each other here. Oh, shit. I sure hope there's enough room to back this sucker out all the way. Oh, dear. Here we go. I barely made it. Okay. We got it. Okay, so there's our wing saddles installed. Do this first. Before you glue in the doublers. Before you glue together the fuselage. When you glue in the doublers, well, you've glued together the fuselage, but you don't need to do the doublers and then this. Do this, then the doublers. Okay. That's what I say, not what I did. Okay, all these screws and this can now be taken out of this box. And we need to find my long screws. The ones that I had out. Set aside for this very thing. Which is crazy that I no longer have them anywhere. Where did I put them? Okay. Let's go. We're going. Oh, here. Here. I need 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're different lengths. Of course. That's okay. So these screws got a little bit of non-threaded shaft on there, and that's what I thought would be better. Oh, when it's going right in, good. Would be better for the rubber bands. Oh, it's not going in. Now it's going in. Ouch! I figured I would screw these in until the threads come right to the surface there. And then that leaves this much sticking out. So instead of a barbecue skewer, I've got real hardware holding the rubber band. And we're going to compare that to my other wing mounting methods, which is a more solid, this is basically, might be an addition. I might combine this method, take the rubber band out, and use the upside down saddle thing that I've built for so many other planes and then use this to screw it in now that I have these awesome threaded inserts. We'll see. But for this one, we're going to use rubber bands, just like the traditional. Okay, let's get the threads to catch. So they've caught. It's the tough part, because now there's so much junk in there. Foam and... Oh, no, they didn't catch. Yes, they did. So we're going to screw it in, as I said, all the way through until I feel it. Threads come right there. Okay. I just hope this doesn't block the battery getting in. It shouldn't. I don't know what battery I'm going to use yet, but it's going to have to be like a 22 or 23, somewhere in the 2000 range, because I think a 3000 size is going to be too big to fit through there. Jeez, I'm sloppy with this. Okay, these screws I'm going to go a little further because they're longer, and it doesn't matter. It's not going to be in my way. So I think that's going to be a really solid hook for the rubber bands to grab onto. Now the question is, can I get this last screw in? It feels a bit mushy in there. It's hard to tell if you're in the right place. Oh, no. We're going to have to clear this one out a little bit. See where it goes. It goes towards the bottom. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, I'm not catching it. It's not catching. It's not catching, folks. Okay. Let's try that now. There, I think I got it. Yeah. Yeah, we got it. So if one were to actually glue these wing saddles on the doublers first, then I think that the hole situation, you could punch the holes in the outside fuselage according to the flight test plans, and you would have a perfect placement of the holes, or near perfect. So there we go. We've put screws in instead of barbecue skewers, because the whole rubber band with barbecue skewers thing, I'm just not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that plan. So there it is with the hatch closed. The hatch does close. It's a good looking plane for a stick. Okay, so we need to move on to the wing. Actually, there's one more thing I need to do. And that is, now I'm going to reinforce this. So we need to get some scrap pieces. Especially like this one. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to paint some glue on here is basically what we're going to do. So we're going to put a little on here like this, and this way it'll let me, since this glue is new to me, test out the viscosity of it. Sorry, I'm getting right in the way of the camera, aren't I? Yeah. That's it. Okay, that's, yeah. It's not that different, really, from the other glue. It does seem to cool off faster. So it sets up quicker. Especially when it gets like non-separated from its glob. Like that will stay hot for longer because it's a big glob. Like it's probably still smushable. But not, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's thicker than the other glue, that it doesn't thin out as much. Okay, but that's good. Let's cut. Now I'm going to do another thing, which is probably a waste of time, but there are a couple places where the tape comes right to a point. And I don't want it peeling all the way back. I already started to do that back here on this side. Let's put one right there too. Okay, so I think that we've got this wing saddle area done, and I do have rubber bands, I think, somewhere, so that should be good. Okay, now for the wing. And what I actually have to do for the wing is, we'll bring it in here. I'll check the time. I might have to take a potty break pretty soon. 3 likes, and nobody's, oh, 2 people are watching. I was looking at the wrong thing. Hi, 2 people out there. I always say this, but I never market this thing anywhere, so it's not like I go on Discord channels and say, hey, you could watch my live stream about this very airplane that you guys are talking about. I see posts all the time. I'm not very good at social media, folks. I need to get better. I want to get better, but I just don't have time right now. The time that I have, I want to spend doing other things, I guess is what you would say. So we're done with screws. Now there's no more hardware to build for this, but there is more gluing. And these got to be put away. Did I put away all the CNC kitchen stuff? I think so. All the foam scraps. Okay, now let's get this glue gun ready. And so here's, yeah, I don't know if I like these sticks or not. We're going to find out when I glue the wing together. Okay. Alrighty, the wing. We need to make sure we don't have any glops on here. Oh, we've got lots of glops. Okay. So what we have for the wing is we have to cut, there's the center spar, which I've cut. We have to cut out these two little end spars. And we have to cut out the entire wing, color it, tape it. No, I'm just kidding. I have the whole wing here. There's the outside of it. It's already been taped. It's been glued. The bends, the airfoil pieces have been supposedly bent in there, but I don't think that, it doesn't seem like very much of a curve. But we'll see when it gets all bent together. So the way this works is that this one gets glued in here. We're going to be punching these holes out. Well, I got to finish cutting them out. I've just marked them. And they line up with these holes for the servos and the wings here. And those I'm not going to cut out completely until we're actually fitting the servos in, which will be after the wing has been constructed. So this is a terrible job here. I see now that I've got a glue ridge right here where the spar has got to go. So we're going to try to get rid of it. And I'm going to do that by running this razor blade along here without cutting into the wing, I hope. And that will give me enough of a grab that I can peel it off. Oh, got a little bit of paper on that one. Okay, there's a little bit more there. That's pretty good. Right there. Right up to where the servo goes. There's just a little. This happened when I squeegeed the glue. Okay, the rest of this is outside the spar section, so we don't have to worry about it. Okay. I just want to point out that this wing was made with completely warped and eschewed foam. But by the time we glue it all together, all that warpage will be bent out of it, if that makes any sense. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we will cut this out. So we need to cut through here. Maybe I should do it on camera. Maybe we should do it on this camera here. It really doesn't have to have these rounded. That's what the flight test laser cutter does. But do we have to do that? We're doing it to make it look cool, even though no one will ever see this part. I am going to, along this whole length, this is the trailing edge here, I'm going to put a wood piece in there. We're going to put a trailing edge wood spar in here too, because that's another modification that I didn't mention at the beginning that I always make to my flight test planes. I always add a wood spar. Always, always, always. Even my flight test arrows have a little bit of a wood spar that pokes into the wings. One of the live streamers that I watch that does builds, Shelby Vol. I don't know if any of you who watch this will be subscribed to his channel, but I would highly recommend it. And I mean, build videos are one thing, but he actually does edit some awesome flight videos. And one I think he just released was him and his buddy flying through this office park at night. Their planes are all lit up, and they're flying through some incredible tight gaps in the office park. Really amazing shit. Kudos to Shelby Vol for that video that he just I think it's just released. So now here we're going to have to cut right through the glue, because the glue globbed up right in this spot right here. And we definitely want it to be clear for the servo to get through. Yes, yes. Who else? There's videos that I watched recently that were awesome. Can't think of the other one, but I watched another video of somebody. I think it was not North 49 RC. No offense, Chris. It wasn't you. It was the people that they know up there in Canada. Notamed Closed. God, what was that video? Where was it shot? I think he was on a beach or something. I don't remember now. But it was memorable at the time. Let me say that. Okay, we've almost got these holes punched out. This will be, I'm looking forward to practicing with the plane with landing gear. So I have a Tundra, but you know, the Tundra costs a lot of money, and if I break it, that'll be more of a bummer. This just costs time, and the time, I enjoy the time. So the idea of me having to, okay, I'm not going to glue it on this pad because this pad isn't the whole length. This is why I need a bigger pad. Okay, so we need to make sure that our surface is absolutely as clean as possible. And we're going to be gluing the spar and using this to line up. Let's clean this up a little bit. Oh, I'm on the wrong camera. Let's switch back. Sorry. Robert must be working hard tonight. Robert's always got some interesting advice, useful, helpful advice. I still haven't followed this advice for my freaking thumb that's killing me, and I've got to do that. He told me to do, I think he said polysporin, but that's basically, I've got some no brand Neosporin, some Kroger brand. Oh, that's exactly where I want it. So what I'm going to do is, to help me when I'm gluing it, to pay attention, I'm going to make sure that I have it marked at the end where I don't want it to go past. Okay. And then we're going to glue it. Okay, are we on camera? We are. So here we go. And then when we take this and put it down, we're going to slide it back and forth a little bit. And then move it so that it is over there. And then we're going to take this ruler and we're going to push down, so we're pushing evenly on all sides. And there, I think we've got a good glue. It's in the right position. It's flat, it's square, it's lined up. I'm happy with that. Now, unfortunately, these guys, I am so glad that they go the full length. Oh, the other thing, let's glue in that wood before I forget. So let me get it. I'm going off camera here. Whoops. Did I just kill the light? No. I'm going to my... Oh dear, where's the one with all the wood spars in it? Oh, here it is. And we're going to use this one. So what we have here is your generic wood spar. It's already cut to the exact right length. So we're going to do a few things. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the tape on the top of this doubler in the back of the wing. And the reason we're doing that is because we need a good surface to glue to. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to, I should really do it like this. I'm going to turn it this way. Yes, I'm frantic about, I've built so many wings that are brand new and have big dents in them from glue on my table. Glue globs and whatever. Okay. Let's put the glue gun over here. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to need a piece of foam to back up this ruler here. Another piece of foam over there. Okay, we're going to make a score cut. And before we make the score cut, we're changing the blade, because the blade is, well, I've used it like for more than 20 seconds. That's about how long these cheap blades, I don't know where you can get good blades anymore. These are the DeWalt Carbide Ultra Max, Super Ultra Carbide Edge, Sustained Sharpness. Bullshit. Excuse me, but that is just... No. Not sustained sharpness. And I don't know if you can get somewhere, if there's good Japanese blades you can get. But not for sale here because everything is cheap crap. If you go to Menards or Home Depot, it's just cheap crap. Okay, we're going to go far down that way as I can reach. I'm going to do a double cut right there. And then, oh, don't fall. I'm going to go back over here before I screw up the ruler. And go back this way. And let's hope I got a nice score cut. And we're going to use the blade to peel up. Well, it looks like it's peeling up. Looks like I'm getting the foam and the paper. Or the paper and the tape. Okay. Nope. Okay. Now we have a surface we can glue to when we fold the wing together. I just wanted to get that taken care of before I glued the spar in. I'm trying to think ahead for a change. And what is that? That is a glue glob right there. Okay, now we're going to glue this in. A trailing edge spar. It does stick up above the foam a little bit, but it doesn't matter. And we've got a label here. This is from China. This piece of wood is from China. Can you believe it? Hebron, China. Harbin, H-A-E-R-B-I-N, China. So this poor tree grew up in China and had to be cut down so I could build this plane. Okay, we're going to try not to glue to the paper right there. Okay, glue gun. Let's hope it doesn't get stuck. This is right at the transition point. A little bit more down there. This cools off super fast as soon as you get it on, because the wood just sucks in the heat. Oh my God, that hurt. That hurt. Okay. There we go. That is going to maintain the stiffness of this wing. And I have a burnt finger, but that's okay. It's not exactly even. There is a gap of 10 millimeters on this end and probably 15 on this end. 13. 3 millimeters. I'm 1.5 millimeters off. Left to right. Okay. Next. We're rolling here. We're rolling. Most people would get the whole plane built in 2 hours. I'm just getting pieces glued together. But, well, somebody just left. But whoever's watching out there, Kevin, I think you're still like watching and working. Thank you for enjoying my banter. We're going to cut out these 2 pieces that I failed to get done before this live stream. And what time is it? 32. So we're going to maybe take a little potty break. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do the... Ooh, I can't do it. can't do it from here. Sorry, folks. 1 second. You're going to have to give me 1 second. We'll continue that where we were. Okay, I'm back. Kevin says the plane will fly great. Well, it'll fly great until I screw up and yeah, you're right. I'm sure the plane will be great. The pilot is the thing I'm worried about. Because we're not putting anything on this sucker at first. Eventually I was thinking, let's pretend like I can fly it and land it and take it off and fly it around. I want to put a... God, I got so much glue stuck to my hand. Ouch. I want to put a pan tilt like right behind the wing. So you get the whole wing in. That's my plan eventually. Or another one anyway. Maybe I'll make a simple stick with a flight controller, but I have so many flight controllers. I could put in a flight controller for every... God, I can't seem to cut straight today. I could put in a flight controller on every plane I make for quite some time. I have like 5. I have more planes than flight controllers though. And Andy said he had a bunch of ESCs, so I'm hoping that he wanted to get rid of. I'm hoping he really does, because those 30 amp ESCs, I was thinking of that twin motor that we crashed last time we flied. Last time we flew, when we weren't fried, he said he had a bunch of ESCs. And Andy was, both Kevin and I were like, yep, we'll take some, yep. We definitely want some ESCs. All the ESCs, what we're going to put in this plane, by the way, is it's in the box over there. It's a 40 amp, it's a 40 amp Hobby Wings Skywalker ESC, and we are going to set the brake. We're going to set the brake. Will we get that done this time? I don't know. The weight, I can't talk. The rate we're going, no. Because I thought for sure we would get this plane done, and then I'd have time to put the lid, finish the tiny little finishing touches even on the FPV Combat Wing, and even talk about the other two FPV Combat Wings, which are in progress. I will not be doing those on the live stream. What we're doing here is cutting the what they call the outer spar, what Josh Bixler calls the outer spar, and that just means that the spar wasn't long enough, the foam board. So he's got these two pieces, and I figured out that actually the piece of foam board isn't quite long enough, and no matter what, even if you didn't try to fit it in his packaging with the laser cutting and all that business, if you just tried to use the full length of the longest, it's 30 inches. What did your wingspan? 66.5 inch wing. Holy crap-a-moly, dude. That's going to be a big plane. That's a big... Is that the... Wait a minute. The ugly stick is the balsa plane, right? Any good places for a 6S 6,000? Yeah. You want to buy one of those? Any good places to buy one? Yeah, we'll look. We'll do some shopping here in just a minute. We'll do some shopping. We'll shop at like a regular RC place, and then we'll look at Amazon. And we'll see what we can get. I'll show you where to shop. See what we get. Okay. We'll get these spars cut out and glued on first, though. Oh. Okay, that should be it. There's one. Okay, one more. By the way, the simple stick plans are free. They're not like the Flurkin plans, even though I did use the simple stick plans that were uploaded to our little friendship group's Google Drive that we share stuff with. Pictures and whatnot. I think either Andy or Kevin, I think it was Kevin who uploaded, I don't remember, it doesn't matter. One of you guys, one of my good flying friends did the deed of uploading this to these plans to our Google Drive. But they are available, I think, on the Flight Test website for free. And they're in their full PDF unlocked glory. So what that means is, if you're a maker type and you're cutting your own plans and you want it, now I will be putting the wing saddles up on the wing saddle STL along with the other two very crudely designed STLs for my 3D printed parts, but the way I made that wing saddle to fit so exactly, so easily, the first time was simple. And that was because these drawings inside the PDF are actually vector drawings. So what you can do with the Flight Test PDF, that's the unlocked kind. Now, the shitty thing is, I'm just going to say, to Flight Test, they are, I'm sorry, But what you've done with the Flurkin plans, F you. F you, Flight Test. I paid my $14 for my Flurkin plans, and I want vector drawings for them. So F you to Flight Test and Josh Bixler, even though I love all your designs, for pretending like your customers are criminals. F you to that. There's my rant for the day. But the great thing is that all the many old flight tests, the old school flight test plans, like the mini Arrow and this simple stick, are vector drawings that you get when you get the PDF. And if you have the right tools like Inkscape or Adobe Illustrator or Corel Draw or any of those kind of vector drawing programs, you can import the PDF and get the vectors. And then once you have the vector drawings, you can take apart, like, so I took the part of the drawing that was just the lines that were the part for the doubler, and I took the top part of that doubler where it shows, and then you scale it right, you bring that into Fusion 360, and bam, you've got your profile exactly to scale. And all I can say is Josh Bixler rants on endlessly about how his beautiful flight test is to enable us makers to do our own designs and to modify his shit. But yet he does things like the Flurkin where he locks down the plans. Well, screw you. I still got a Flurkin plan, and I still took the JPEGs and I traced over them, Josh Bixler. I traced over them and I got my vector drawings anyway. So all you did is take me, the customer, and make me do a lot more work to enjoy your plans, because I didn't want to build your plane the exact way you designed it. As you know, you don't know, Josh Bixler, because you're never going to see this, but I built my plane differently because I was following your ethic of modifying and expanding upon your designs. But yet I had to go through a shit ton of extra work to do that after paying you $14 for the plans. There's my rant. The PDFs are locked. You get them, they're locked. They're password protected, locked. So they're almost of no use. They're of no use. The way that you get them. They're of no use. If those $14 plans were to be of use for somebody like me, a maker, they would have to be unlocked and they would have to be vector drawings. What do you think I'm going to do? Publish them in I don't know. Do you think that somebody in China who wants to copy the plans for the Flurkin and make the cheap version like they did for this, the Spear, do you think, is that the Spear? I can't remember what that thing is called. I think it's a Spear. Do you think that they're not going to have some people sit down for a couple hours, or a half a day? They'll do it way faster than me, because I'm an old, kludgy old man. They'll do it way faster. They'll have your vector drawings. They'll buy your non-vector locked PDF, put it through, take JPEG pictures of it or something, and trace over them. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. That's my rant. And it sucks that I have to have that rant, because I listened to you whine about how people were abusing the plans. You did it on a podcast, and that was, I think, one of the, when you were talking about when you were first starting to charge for plans. And I said, fine. I did. I said, fine. I love the Flurkin concept. I love it. It's a great design. It's a great design for foam board. It's fun. it looks freaking awesome. Oh man, I forgot to make a cut. Whoops. Let's put this back on and make the right cut here. While I'm ranting, I'm not cutting. But that whole part of it bummed me out. And it bummed me out. And it's not like that's the only thing I've bought from Flight Test. No, I don't buy your plane kits. Because I don't want to buy your plane kits. I like cutting my own planes. I don't want the plane kits. I don't want your maker foam. I don't want the waterproof foam. I just want cheap old, crappy foam board. It's perfectly fine. It doesn't need to be anything better. Like I said, the wings, they were warped as hell. They were warped. Those foam board pieces, I got a batch of foam board from Dollar Tree that had been sitting in an angle, or somebody threw it somewhere and left it that way, and I just didn't care. I bought them anyway. And I'm still going through that batch. I've got like 2 more sheets of that batch, and I'll be done with it. But all the arrows that I've built, including the last one, came from that batch of wonky foam. And they're all perfectly fine. There's no wonkiness to them at all. Once you fold it together, and that's a testament to Josh Bixler and the Flight Test designs. They're good designs. They're flexible enough that your materials don't have to be perfect. Awesome. And I'm willing to pay for it. But don't screw me over if I pay for it. Don't screw me over and treat me like I'm a criminal and I'm going to steal from you. I hate that. I hate that. There was that. How about that rant? Speed build kit should come with printed plans to make replacements. Yeah. See, now I feel bad that I went on that rant, but I'm not going to retract it. I said the good and the bad. I built Josh Bixler's designs were what got me into building foam board planes. The tiny trainer. First plane I ever flew. First plane Andy ever flew. For both of us. First plane we crashed was my tiny trainer. So there you go. But I just feel like, I feel dirty. How about that, Josh, and your Christian values? I felt dirty. Because I felt like a criminal. Had to figure out how to goddamn unlock your shit. So thanks. Thanks for that. But I have the Flurkin plans. I have them now. And they're not sent up to share to the world. But I posted the alteration, what's called the main plate, my rocket ship shaped main plate. I posted that to my Thingiverse, so that's on there as a PDF and a DXF file. I don't think you can patent a shape, copyright a shape, can you? And besides, that's not the shape you published. So there. Well, I'm talking to him like he's going to ever... That's hilarious. Okay, what we're doing here, of course, is the Flight Test way, and other people do other things that are very similar to Flight Test, I might add. Where are we? Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was like everybody's gone, so I thought it was like past 11. Okay, we're going to get this one. It was my rant that drove the viewers away. Was my rant. I'm being reported to the Flight Test police. Your Flurkin will be confiscated. It's an unauthorized version. Your Flurkin. That name makes me laugh. I gotta say. Me and my girlfriend, we joke about the Flurkin all the time. Joking about that Flurkin. Don't you mess with that Flurkin. All right, we're going to be brave with these. Watch this. I'm going to do both grooves at the same time. We're going to do this groove, and we're going to do this groove. And then I'm going to go like this. There, and then there, and then ow, 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 hot. Very, very hot. Very, very hot. That's why you don't do it that way. Very hot. Here, let's turn on this camera. Whoops. There. There we go. Oh, I should also say that I watched the documentary. Somebody has published on YouTube a documentary of flight test. And it's, you know, mostly about Josh Bixler, because he's the one who's made flight test what it is. And it's really good. It's really good. It's about Chad Kapper and Josh Bixler, because basically the two of them together made flight test. It's hard to say. Chad Kapper started it, right? He's the one who started it. Anyway, okay, I'm not going to do that this time. That was too hot on my tender little fingers. Speed build kit, yeah. Order an option to add at checkout. Yeah, well. Like I said, I don't care how they do it, as long as the plans that you buy are unlocked with vectors in them. Because now I'm going to what's the word? I'm going to give second thoughts to the idea of buying flight test plans. I'm really going to have to like the plane. I mean, $14 isn't that much money. It's the idea of that I have to go through all that work to get what I want out of it. And I enjoy the work of cutting the plans and printing them out and even the part I hate it most is doing the tiles and getting all the tile pieces lined up, because my printer isn't perfect, because it's an HP piece of crap. Don't buy any HP printers ever again. Don't buy any HP printer that has an E, a little lowercase e, at the end of its product name, model name. If you do, you are buying a product that is actually, you are paying for the privilege of being the product for HP. Because what HP is going to do is collect your data and sell it. They're not really interested in the printer. They're interested in your data. They've discovered that they can now make printers which collect everybody's data. And so that's what they do. They don't want to make printers anymore. They just want your data. They just have to make a printer for you to have some reason for you to let them collect your data. Isn't late stage capitalism freaking awesome? Gotta love it. So my advice is don't ever, 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 ever buy an HP printer. Well, one that has an E at the end of the model name. And if the other printer companies start doing this, like Canon and Epson, we must rebel somehow. Rebel. Rebel against the corporate takeover of our data. Holy crap. Anyway, I'm on a lot of tangents today. Whoops. What did we get? We got some kind of notification. What is it? What do we got? Nothing. I hate when it makes a noise. I have two phones. So the notification sounds are different, supposedly. It's Josh Bixler sending me a text. No, I'm joking. So it'll make a sound, but then there's no notification. Boy, I got a lot of things to rant about today, don't I? Okay. Gosh darn it. I'm not doing my job. We've got both of these things made. Let's put them on the damn plane. Let's get them glued on this wing. Let's get this thing out of the way again. Time is up for this live stream, but I'm going to finish this wing. We're going to finish this wing. Well, I mean, we're going to finish at least the gluing part of it. I'm hoping to have a simple stick to fly at the next flying day, which I don't know when that'll be, but I'm hoping this weekend. I'm hoping to take Friday afternoon off, man. I really need a break. Okay. That's going to fit perfectly. So all I need to do, we're going to put a little glue on the end of it. And then on this part. And slide it in. There it goes. Look at it. It's perfectly lined up with the edge in every direction. Excellent. Yeah, they're letting you know they're watching you. They're basically telling you. They're telling you they're watching you. And everybody's like, oh, okay. I guess we gotta just bend over. And I'm like, no, we don't have to take this. We don't. If nobody buys their damn printers, they're gonna stop. I'm hoping somebody figures out a hack for them. I'll tell you, I'll buy them if I can hack them. But so far, I don't know of any hacks. If I could hack them, I have one at work. And not that I didn't buy it, somebody else bought it. But then when we figured out, they were trying to use it someplace they were trying to use the damn printer someplace that didn't have internet out in the field. The damn thing wouldn't work. It will not work without telling HP what you're doing. It will not work. And oh my God, I just spilled coffee all over the place. Did I? Really? No. Oh my God, there is some on my freaking plane. There's some coffee. It will not work. It will not print without an internet connection. It will not let you install the drivers. It will not let you do anything. And I have tried. There is supposedly a driver that you can install that does not have the internet requirement, but you have to have the internet requirement to get it installed. So that doesn't meet the qualifications. Okay. So screw HP. Screw you goddamn capitalists. Your shitty ass psychopathic behavior. So sick of it. Ow. Ow, that's hot. Ow, that's hot. Okay. Look at that beautiful spar. We really have, this spar now is going to do half the work at least of keeping this wing stiff, because I'm sorry to say, but these foam board spars, I mean, it's a great idea, I guess, because you're selling the kit and you don't want to, you can't ship this wood dowel in the kit because it's got to be in a little box, because that's another thing. They don't want to jack you on the shipping, I guess, so that's good. Because if it had to be this big of a box, it wouldn't be so great. Okay, so now comes the point in time where we kind of have to make this thing bend together. And I don't feel it. I'm not feeling the airfoil here. Okay, let's get all this crap. Ouch. I'm not feeling it, but I guess it's there. Okay, look at that. It sure in the hell is there. Okay, now if I remember correctly, the way he glued this, I don't know if I want to glue it on stream or not. Are people still watching? Yeah, I guess you guys are still out there. A couple of you. Okay, so I think what we can do is glue, I think what Josh did in the build was he glued the leading edge and these spars, and then he did this glue at the end. So 2 steps. Step one is these 3 surfaces, and then you have enough gap that you turn the wing over and you get enough gap and you get it in here. The thing I hope is that I can get it. Usually what I like about this wood spar is it also sticks up a little bit above the doubler in the back, and that helps make like a nice big area for glue to keep the strength. So I almost want to do the whole thing at once, but I can see why you don't want to, because I'm never going to be able to press down. Okay, we'll do it in 2 steps too. So the stream's going to run long a little bit because we're going to glue this beautiful flight test wing together. Oh, there's where all the coffee is that I spilled. Shit. Right there. How much is on my foot? Hold on a second, people. I'm an idiot. I must not spread coffee all over the house. Please stand by while I make a fool of myself. Look, there's even glue globs in my sandals. Okay. I can't believe I did that with my coffee. Yeah, that's hilarious. So embarrassing. Okay. We're ready. Now, for a step like this, as Josh would say in his builds, make sure your glue gun is filled with glue. So, we're going to do the leading edge and the tops of the spars. And I'm not going to worry about any crap squirting out. And the tops of the spars. This you have to go a little slower. That's why you want the glue to keep its heat for a little while. And that's why you want to use a hot setting. At least that's what I think. And this thing's starting to run out of steam. My glue gun starting to cool off. Okay, here we go. Oh shit. Did I really put this thing away? Yep, I did. So we want to push down and pressure over the spar. And you hold it. And kind of spread from the outside to the inside. Maybe even do this. I want to build like some kind of pressure bar that when I push on it will maintain even pressure across the whole length. So it's, I mean, like a stiffer bar. I'm thinking of an interlocking 3D printed assembly of some sort. Okay. Hey, is it Robert here? Hi, Robert. It is Robert. Welcome. I'm running long today, but I'm about to stop. I'm about to go away. But I'm glad to see you. I don't know how much of my rant you heard about flight test, but yeah. I had nice things to say too, obviously. Because look at my whole fleet is flight test shit. Obviously, I like flight test. I put a logo on the wing. Am I going to get in trouble for that, Josh? I put a logo. I didn't pay for it. I didn't pay for it. Okay. I'm going to cut the hinges before I glue this trailing edge. I'm cutting the hinges. Oh my God, I just realized something. Which side of the servo's on that plane? Kevin, if you're still here, are the servos on the top of the wing or the bottom of the wing? They got to be on the bottom of the wing. Servos are on the bottom of the wing. I didn't glue it upside down. Servos are on the bottom of the wing. I'm so used to doing them on the top of the wing. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Oh, look, is it glued down there? No. Why is it a little bit... So it does have a somewhat symmetrical airfoil, I'd say. Not 100%, but enough, I guess. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to break open these hinges for the ailerons, which might mean I should have done this first. No, we're just going to force it. Here we go. There we go. Oh, it wasn't so bad. Okay, we're going to do this one. Come on, you. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to glue this way. This will be much easier to glue. And I'm going to have a piece of foam stuck right there. And where's the glue? Has it caught up? Is that enough? I think it's enough. This is it. This is our last task for the day. So we're going to just squeeze it in there. It's going down. Shit. I gotta have it more at an angle. Some of it isn't even there. Come on, don't do that. It's going into the wing. Okay, pull this out. Do this, and then just push on this here. That should do it. And we're going to hold it, as Josh would say, and hold it for just about a minute. And he gives a nice smile. Looks at the screen. Just hold it for just about a minute. And I'm like, God damn, I burnt my fingers. Holy crap. Ah! This is always the worst, the scariest part of doing a flight test plane, is gluing the wing together. I can imagine how the newbies must be scared to death of this stuff. Because it's like, they bought a kit, right? So it's like one piece. They're not going to be cutting another piece because they bought a damn kit. So I can totally get it. I can totally get how you would just be a little paranoid. I'm not like referring to Kevin. I don't even think he was paranoid. By the time he had gotten the kit, I think he had enough crash builds on his belt from his Optera adventures that he wasn't afraid. But if you were brand new to it, and you bought like a $50 kit of just Dollar Tree foam board and bits of wood here and there, I can definitely see. Okay, we're going to do one last thing today. I'm going to look at the chat, but let's first check out my handiwork. Let's see if I built a decent wing. First, looking along this edge, this might be one of the best wings I've ever built as far as it lining up exactly how it's supposed to. It lines up exactly how it's supposed to. There you can see the wood spar in there, and you can see that it kind of helps. It doesn't matter when you have a doubler at the end of the wing. It's very helpful to put that wood spar inside there. So one thing I didn't do was finish cutting the center port, but we'll finish that. We can always use a template to print out another piece. So I'd say that the wing has there's the airfoil. As you can see, it's not a flat bottom wing. Like it's not a flat bottom wing. Like every other wing that I've ever built from flight test is a flat bottom wing. So this is my first symmetrical airfoil build. I do want to, now that I look at the profile on this is my new Explorer wing that I've built, and it doesn't have the flight test bends. It has a continuous curve. What if I did that both ways? That would even be more efficient than the flight test design, I bet. Okay, let's do the bevel cuts. And for the bevel cuts, again, oh my God, look at all the glue on the table. We're going to get this out of the way. This will be the last thing I do. Then we'll be done for today. I'll look at the chat and see what's happening. Somebody else has joined. James Ellis. James, welcome. I'm sorry that I'm leaving. Oh, an aluminum angle for flatness while holding the glued part down. Well, of course, that's brilliant. An angle, and I have one in the garage. All I have to do is like clean it. It's like disgustingly dirty. This is why I need to do these live streams. Why don't I do more of them? Brilliant people with brilliant ideas. Thank you. What did Robert say? Oh my God, you're a grandpa again. Damn, dude, congrats. Baby girl on Monday night. Congratulations. That is very nice. Very happy for you, Robert. I'm not looking forward to being a grandpa, I guess, right now, because that means one of my kids has to get married. And I don't want to do, not ready to do that. We're doing the bevel cut, by the way. I just started without announcing it. Let's see how that one is. As Josh says in his build, you want more than a 45-degree cut. But I only have a 45-degree cut bevel cutter, and I'm not going to try to cut it by hand like he does in his videos. In fact, I'm not a particular fan of the way he cuts his bevel cuts in the videos. He holds a bare razor blade, and my poor tender hands are just going to get abused. Okay, so you can see there's dents. There's a dent there. Maybe you can't see. Probably can't see, but there's a dent there. There's dents from glue globs on my table. Okay, now we're going to do this one. We're going to do this way. Maybe I should put the servos in. I can go long. I'll go a little extra because I really want to get this plane done. But I also need to do some work tonight before I go to bed. So probably won't go too much longer. Okay. That's the second bevel cut. Yeah, look at this wing. Look at that. I always like when I've been looking at these parts for a week. Or even more. Now, I did make some mistakes. My perfectly lined up drawings for tracing these lines out didn't line up exactly right, but I always try to do separate colors on the bottom, especially for line of sight planes, and so even the flight test Arrow wings have red on one side and black on the other usually, or some yellow on one side and black on the other. Okay, let's cut out the holes for the servos and the hole in the center here. So for the hole in the center, we're going to use this, because this is going to tell me basically where it was supposed to be, I think. Yeah, because it's right there. Let me see this line right there. Yeah. So basically we need a hole in the bottom, of course, to deal with our wires. And that's what this little hole is for, which we've already traced out from the other side, so it shouldn't be too hard to cut out from this side. And we need our X-Acto to get the curves. We're following the curves from the flight test laser cuts. Sometimes when you look at my cutouts, it's hard to tell them from the laser cut ones, except that, well, it should be that way. I'm sure everybody that does it with care turns out that way. And it's even better than the laser cut ones in some ways, because they don't have that. When the laser cuts through the foam, I'm going to get this on the other camera too. When the laser cuts through the foam, it like makes a divot in the edge. So it like melts a little half circle. So you don't get this nice square edge. So that sometimes is important. Not very often, but. So there are some advantages to the kits, to cutting your own kit out. Okay, so there is the hole for the servo wires. Now we might have to use extensions on these servos. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the servos here is we're going to cut out, oh, it came out really easy. We're going to have to make a second cut because we're going to set in the servo into the ears of the servo. I want to set into the first layer of foam. Since there are 2 layers of foam, I believe that's how the actual design is too. So that's the way we're going to do it here too. So there's the second hole. Now what we'll do is we'll take our servos, which I haven't picked out yet. The other servos are the tail servos are these Emax, and so I happen to have some more in stock, so I guess we'll use those. So we'll have the same servos for all 4 servos. And we don't have to pre-center them. So here's what I'm thinking. We're going to, which way are they going to go? They're going to go this way so that this is closer to the back. So what we need to do is measure out. See, I didn't pre-cut the holes. That's just something else that I normally don't do when I'm cutting from scratch build flight test plans, is I don't cut the servo holes. I usually make one cut to mark where I might want to put the servo holes, one score cut, and then I wait. So like the cutouts for that's in the plans for there's cutouts here, I think, for the servo, for the control arm, and I don't think that I do those. I mean, I never have done those either until I'm done, until I know where I want to cut it. So in other words, I don't trust the plans for that part of it because I don't necessarily want to put it in the exact same place. Okay, so that's how we're going to do the servo. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut down through the top layer of foam only. Since we have a foam spar under there, we have 2 layers of foam. So we only want to cut through the top. And this is the same way that you do the servos in the FT Arrow wing. And then I just want to get that out, and I kind of want to go down to the paper on top of the spar if I can. Yeah, that one came out good. And then we want to see, that's just not going to be enough now, is it? So what we're going to do is we're going to use some of these guys here. Get 2 of them out. These things are Banggood specials, and I don't even know. I usually get different lengths. So this is a 600 millimeter. This one's 150 millimeters. I think that's all I got left. I had some 400 millimeter ones too. I think I've used all those. I think those are the ones I cut up. Before I had the silicone wire sets from Amazon, I used to buy these things to make my wire harnesses. That's why those silicone wire sets, these things, have changed my life. But when you build a plane like this plane, you don't need it. You don't need to build your own wiring harnesses, because we're not putting any electronics in here besides the basic stuff. So what we're going to try to do is get this all scooched in there. That might be easier said than done. And then we've got to get it like down in there. And sometimes that's easier said than done too. Sometimes you just can't get it to go. So that's why I have stuff like this around where I can push it down. There we go. We got it. And then we can take our handy dandy pliers and grab it. Like, I can't get it. Got it. Okay. Servo. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Let's see if we can get it out enough. I forgot to tape these together. You got to tape these together because you don't want them to come apart inside the wing. That would not be good. So just put a little piece of Scotch tape or something on there. Tape them together. Okay. Now we're going to test fit this sucker. Oh yeah, it's going to go in. So I don't want to put it all the way in. It goes in so good. I don't want to put it all the way in yet. We're going to glue it. And to glue it, oh look, I need another glue stick. Be right back. Handy dandy glue sticks are in my handy dandy glue stick drawer. And as I said, we've switched over to the Andy supplied. Andy has given us part of his bounty of giant box of glue sticks. So he gave me a bunch. Like I have like 10. A bunch is 10 for me, and that's probably not a bunch because the amount of glue I use, 10 is going to go. I'll be going to Andy to beg for more. Can I have more of your glue sticks, Andy? Okay, here we go. Just 2 dabs of glue in these little pockets here where the little ears of the servo will sit. And then just kind of, oh, it won't go in. There we go. Perfect. There, I should have put it on this camera. There's the servo. A little bit of glue. I'll get the glue off later, I promise. I'll take all the glue off all these little glue stringies off the outside. Sometimes when you do your first flight in one of these flight test planes, you see little pieces of glue fly out. Globs of glue from the inside and whatnot. Okay, so now we're going to do our second hole, and we're going to do the same thing with the second servo. Fresh, factory fresh Emax ES08 MD digital, and it doesn't matter if it's digital because we're doing that isn't perfectly flat. It should really be flatter. I did kind of a sloppy job. It's a little bit at an angle relative to the surface. Okay, so once again, we're going to take the servo. We're going to put our extension on it. Let's make sure we lined up the extension right. Yes, we did. We're going to make sure we have it lined up yellow to yellow. We're going to tape it together. Like so. Why am I so far off from where the camera's pointing? Oh, there we go. I guess it wasn't. Okay. Now, we're going to put this like this. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to mark where the front and the back are of these little ears. there, and there. And I'm just going to cut out, score the tape. That's another thing about these flight test planes. For people that haven't built them before, you've got to cover the foam with something. They don't ever do that on the builds, but if you don't do it, your plane is going to last like 5 minutes. There's a guy I watched, CrossGen RC. I think he might have been one of the guys I was trying to think of earlier. And he has got just the best attitude. He crashes so many planes. He'll go through all this work to build it. He buys the kits and stuff from Flight Test and a couple other places that sell Flight Test like foam kits. Can't remember what the name of that place is that he buys from sometimes. There are other places that sell foam board kits that are the same type of design, same type of cutting techniques, same type of laser cut foam board. I'm having a hard time getting this part cleaned out properly for some reason today. This one section won't clean out. And if you don't clean it out, you're gluing to a bunch of loose garbage. Okay, we better make sure we put this towards the back. This one is the right wing. This one is the right wing that we already have in, so we're going to put it to the right. Right? Is that correct? Yes, it's the right wing. I can second guess myself sometimes. So we're going to put an R there. RA for right aileron. Because R is for rudder. Okay, now we're going to fish this one through. Easier said than done. This is the part that always gets stuck. Come on. You can do it. This is the part sometimes I do. Here, we'll go to this camera. I do a little surgery here. Oh. Let's see if I can. Help push it. Why? Did I not plug this in all the way or something? Why is it not going through? There we go. Man. Now we're going to push it. Come on. This is the part where you got to kind of let gravity help you. Let gravity help you get it fed in there. Come on. Just a little ways more. There we go. Come on. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. All right, this is going to be the last thing we do. Tape that connector together. Oh, you said tape the connector together. I didn't see your thing, and I thought of it on my own, Robert. I did. Thank you, though. Tape that connector together, yes. What else was said? Good to know you do the same and confirm HRB. HRB. I don't know what HRB is. I'm sure I should know what HRB is. Okay, is this going to go in? I think it is. What I need to do is just a little bit of smushing over here. A little bit of cleaning up right there. Okay, we're going to force this in no matter what. We're going to put a glue. So we're going to glue this. And then I'm going to say sayonara till next week. I almost did a live stream, random stream, when I did the simple stick fuselage on one of the weekend days. Maybe I should have gotten some, maybe Caroline, Tyler, and other people would have joined. But anyway, okay, here we go. We're gluing this in. We'll go to this camera, the glue camera. Glue cam. A little bit of glue, a little bit more glue. The servo is pointed the right way. And is it level? It's more level than the other one. Still a little cockeyed. And we got a little bit of too much glue in there. We don't need all that glue like that. I should have left it alone. Looked cleaner. Now let's get all this goop out that I caused. Okay. There we go. There's our servos. We'll get all the glue globs off. But yeah, that's a nice wing. Nice design, flight test. Josh Bixler. As much as I rant about some of your business practices, I still love flight test. Where am I? There I am. I'm always gonna still love flight test, no matter what. They're my first airplane love. How can I give up? There's one more thing I want to do that's bugging me. I'm gonna take a piece of tape. Oh no, not like that. I'm gonna do this some thought here. I'm gonna fix this front corner a little bit. I'm gonna trim it up and clean it up. I don't know why. Next time I think I'm gonna cut the top and the bottom with the same angle. I don't know why they do that. That's a query I have for Josh Bixler. Why do you do that? I understand about the flight test ripping me off with the locked plans, because it's about money. Everything's about money. But that's not about money. That's about something else. I don't know what it is. Okay. Wednesday workshop's over. I went 40 minutes over today to finish this wing. Well, it's basically finished. So Kevin will get to see it fly the next time we go flying. Guaranteed, unless it's too windy. Well, then we won't be flying. So thank you for watching. Who was here? Kevin, Robert, and wait, there was some James Ellis. Thanks for your suggestion. I'll see you guys all later. Thanks for watching. I always forget which number it is. Number 6. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, you guys. See you next Wednesday. I always should say that now. See you next Wednesday. Bye, you guys. And your new big ugly stick. Right. Good night. Kevin, everybody, good night.